Hey, can I still get my loan? Is it going to close? Are there any changes? Gosh, every day there's changes, but we brought in Mike Walsh again to talk about a few things that happened this week. So stay tuned. I'm recording this thing. So, hey, we're back on. It's David and Mike Walsh again. But I don't know, we were talking today about just kind of updating what's going on since we talked last with, everybody was worried about interest rates and what that meant. And then I think you and I chatted the other day about some of the stuff that's going on with Washington State housing and how different people are trying to, the loans that they provide. I mean, there's probably in the last few days, I think there's just been a lot of up and down because it could all happen again next week. But why don't we share a little bit of what you know there or what's happening?
Yeah, there's definitely been a flight to safety as far as loans are concerned. The credit score requirements have gone up. Washington State housing that was temporarily on hold. Not so much the program itself, but the banks that were originating those loans. They temporarily, a lot of them put them on hold, and now we're originating them again. So the minimum credit score has gone up. It's 640 rather than 620. So that's been one change, and that's an in-house change that Axia Home Loans chose to raise that again, just to be safe as far as the loans they're putting out there and offering. So, but it seems like the non-QM qualified mortgages and jumbo loans, and those are very minimal right now on who's originating those. And we're still originating the jumbo loans, but those as well have gone up as far as credit scores, minimum credit score requirements and that sort of thing. So,
what for those who might be watching and don't know, what is the difference between, say, a qualified mortgage or a jumbo loan? A lot of people know that, but maybe some don't. They're listening. So, what does all this mean?
Yeah, there's really three different tiers. There's in Pierce County, you typically would have standardized pricing that goes up to 510, 400, and you get above that, you get into a high balance loan, which typically is a little higher rates, a little stringent credit scoring and that sort of thing, and then you get into jumbo loans, which is loans above the high balance conforming, and that obviously a lender putting all their eggs in one basket per se, and lending let's say $1 million versus maybe lending on 3 or 4 deals to equal that $1 million.
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of risk to that. So the jumbo loans typically are the first ones to start seeing the tightening of the belt per se, and so we saw that initially right away, and a few of the larger banks have chosen to just originate those in-house. There's no longer any correspondent lending or allowing some of the other mortgage bankers to originate those loans and place them with the big banks for servicing. So everybody's tightening down, definitely. Just kind of see as we progress through this.
So in other words, like when you just refi your loan, that's going on a lot now, or getting a new loan, a lot of times it's sold off to someone right afterwards. You might not get your first payment. They sign on with you, say Axia Home Loans, and then next thing you know, it's going to Chase Bank or something like that. But so what you're saying is most people are going to hang on to their loans. You're probably going to see them staying more in-house. Is that what you're saying there?
Yeah, I know Axia Home Loans right now, we're actually portfolioing most of our originations. So there's just not a real strong demand to purchase those loans out there from investors, mortgage investors. So we're retaining a lot of servicing right now on our originations. So that's definitely one of the things we've seen here, and in hopes, obviously, that the next couple months that'll relax a little bit, and we'll be able to have a market for that and be able to sell those loans.
Yeah. Anything else that you're getting? As we all know, we're trying to figure out what's happening each day. Any other insights that are coming or planning you see that they're doing down the road that, hopefully is going to make some difference? Or we're all in this, where are we going thing, but.
Yeah, the government's definitely created a lot more liquidity. So we're as far as lending's concerned, we're able to, I call them kind of our vanilla loans per se, but our conventional and government loans, and the ones that are usually insured, a lot of those are going pretty smooth. Besides the a little bit of tightening as far as credit scores and such, but they've been going smooth, and rates, of course, trickled back down a little more normal per se after they jumped up initially there with everything going on. So that certainly has helped.
As we said before when we chatted too, that it looks, when we come out of this, it's a whole different thing. It's not just been where people kind of got caught in things or didn't pay. We're affected because you don't have a job, and when it kicks in, it should, we kind of say it should just start building again. Do you see anything that they're saying they've got planned in line, or we're just waiting to see when it opens up, or is there a kind of a plan getting put in place for once this kicks in, we'll start moving back to normal or extending loans or whatever we're going to do?
Yeah, most of what I've seen and read is I don't think we can come out of this, unscathed, obviously, but I think a lot of it still depends on how quickly we evolve out of this and exit this whole quarantining and a lot of that will is going to determine how heavy how heavy hit we get here with the rents and mortgage payments and forbearances and these sorts of things, and of course how much of the workforce goes back to work, how many of those jobs are still left, or how many are going to have to close up. And so there's just a lot of moving pieces, definitely. So I'm not sure that anybody can really speculate how big that's going to be or how much the government's going to help with that. So
anything you're seeing, I mean, there's normally that thing when you get to an end of a loan. I know there's been, loans and things are still happening, but also they're kind of tightening down, because usually you'd get another check of, hey, let me just check one more time that what's your latest bank statement? You're going, oh my gosh, I've already given all this stuff, and gets closer to the end of the loan and they ask for that. But seems like what I'm hearing is that they're really right up down to the minute now, kind of saying, let's just make sure everything's still there. Checking bank accounts, maybe checking employments or something.
Employment's a biggie. Employment, we're having to go in a few times during the loan process to have that checked and validated, and a lot of times it's we're having to check at closing, which gets it's gotten a little more difficult as this has gone on, because now we're trying to track down, is that HR person literally at the company, or are they at home as well? And how do we track them down? And so, but we are obviously being a lot more cautious on that. We actually have a form that's been developed from our legal team where at closing, they'll literally sign a form that says they're not projecting, to lose their job or perhaps going into some type of forbearance situation or something of that sort. So trying to be careful on that, so we're not obviously grabbing a loan that might already right out of the gates have problems. So,
anything that a person could do, I mean, that, like you say, it's hard to get a hold of HR people, or some people aren't even at their jobs. Is there anything you might suggest to, say, a client that's about to close and you call them up and say, I need this information verified again? Is there any guideline of what is accepted as not? I can't just call your buddy and say, hey, you work for me as my foreman, or what?
Yeah. We have to, typically the phone or the phone number we call needs to be a company phone number. Sometimes the company will even pay for, their cell phones for HR or that sort of thing. We've got to try to track that down and make sure that we're doing our due diligence on that. Make sure we're talking to somebody that actually is head of HR or somebody that's an immediate manager or something of that sort. So that's again, it's a difficult task right now at times, just due to everybody being at home or being away from the office. So
probably got somebody out there starting a new niche as Joe's HR service. Just give them our number and we'll get you.
Yeah.
I hope we don't want to see that start another headache. So
yeah.
Oh, good. It was a quick thing today, probably too, just to kind of get to here and update some stuff. Anything else you know that you're seeing, questions that are asked from your clients or around the office that might, or I shouldn't say around the office, I guess around your Zoom calls.
Right.
That I don't know, anything else that you're seeing that people are coming and panicking, calling you about, or that you can help put their mind at ease?
Yeah, I think the only thing right now is just we're a little more diligent on, talking to the clients about their situations, seeing if they're an essential worker and making sure that they have, that job security, see if they have noticed of any, layoffs or furloughs or anything, that might be happening there with their employment. So I think that's the biggie right now, are the big changes. We're mostly as loan officers and processor, and we're used to working remotely. So that hasn't really been too big of a difference for our entire company, so all the employees pretty much are working remotely. So our corporate office typically has anywhere from 80 to 90 employees there at the corporate office, and now they're down to 6. So there's a lot of work remotely, but things have been really efficient. So we've been very pleased with, that our office being able to accomplish that.
Yeah. So there's only like 6 in the building, you're saying, but the rest are still working, right?
Absolutely.
That's
They're all remotely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We should put a shout out for Cammie. That's your backbone there. I know that just helps. And she just got some other paperwork closed for us the other day. So yeah.
She's working remotely and she's, it's just business as usual. So just a lot more of, teleconferencing and a lot of phone calls, so emails and that sort of thing. So.
All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, I hope you're all hanging in there, staying safe, and enjoy the weekend I know you'll be still doing your work. I know I'm still making calls and setting some things up for some clients. Even if we can't be there, we're being there like this now. So appreciate you taking the time, and just small update, but some of those things, it's nice to get out there and maybe get an idea of what's happening. So appreciate you getting together here. And if you get bored with some of your honeydew projects, you can come over and take care of some of mine, and I'll stay my 6 feet or more, and just hand you the tools. You can, clean the yard for me or something. But I appreciate it, Mike.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.
You too. I appreciate it again. Thank you. Hey, thanks again for spending your time with Mike and I. Stay safe. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next week on our next